There's a kind of intelligence that doesn't show up on any test. It wasn't taught in school. You didn't earn it through study or discipline or natural gift. You earned it through survival. Psychologists are only beginning to understand it, and most people who have it don't even realize they do. They just think something is wrong with them. But what feels like a flaw might actually be one of the sharpest forms of intelligence a human mind can develop. It's called traumatic intelligence, and if you have it, you've probably spent your whole life being told you're too sensitive, too intense, too much. You're not. You're just running on a cognitive system that was forged under pressure most people never experienced. Here are the 7 signs. Sign 1. You read rooms before you read words. The moment you walk into a space, you already know. You feel the tension before anyone says a thing. You catch the slight shift in someone's tone, the half-second pause before they answer, the smile that doesn't reach the eyes. While everyone else is taking words at face value, you're reading the whole signal underneath. This isn't a party trick. It's a survival adaptation. When you grow up in an environment where the emotional weather could change without warning, your brain learns to scan constantly. You became an expert in micro-expressions because reading them correctly used to matter more than anything. Now, as an adult, you'll walk into a meeting and know who's about to clash before they do. People call it intuition. It's actually data, years of it. Sign 2. You think 3 steps ahead because you had to. Most people react to what's in front of them. You're already living in the next 3 scenarios. Before you make a decision, you've mapped every way it could go wrong, every reaction it might trigger, every consequence that might fall. This isn't anxiety, though it can feel like it. It's strategic foresight built into your nervous system. When you grew up never knowing what was coming, predicting became protection. You learn to anticipate moods, prepare for outcomes, have a plan for the plan. And here's what people miss. That same wiring makes you remarkably good in a crisis. While everyone else panics, you've already thought through the next move. You lived in worst-case scenarios for so long that when one finally arrives, you're calm. You've been here 100 times in your mind. Sign 3. You notice what's missing, not just what's there. This one is strange, and most people never recognize it. You walk into your home and instantly know if one object has moved. You sense when a friend is slightly off, even when they insist they're fine. You catch the absence of something before you catch its presence. Empty spaces speak to you. This comes from a mind that learned to track everything, because in your past, the smallest change could be the first warning sign. You developed a baseline awareness so precise that any deviation sets off a quiet alarm. Other people are oblivious. You're tracking the entire environment in the background at all times. It's exhausting. It's also a kind of perception most people will never have. Sign 4. You can hold 2 opposite truths at once. Most minds need things to be simple, good or bad, safe or dangerous, friend or enemy. But you learned early that the same person could be both. That comfort and threat could come from the same source. That love and pain weren't always separate. So your brain developed the ability to hold contradiction without collapsing. You can understand why someone hurt you and still feel compassion for them. You can love something and recognize it's destroying you. This is called cognitive complexity, and it's one of the rarest forms of mental sophistication there is. Most people simplify the world to feel safe. You learn to see it as it actually is. Layered, contradictory, true in more than one direction at the same time. Sign 5. You're calm in chaos and unsettled in peace. Here's the paradox that confuses everyone around you. When everything falls apart, you become focused, clear, almost serene. You handle the emergency. You make the calls. You hold it together while others fall apart. But when life finally goes quiet, when there's no crisis, no threat, no problem to solve, that's when you feel uneasy. Stillness feels suspicious. Peace feels like the moment before something breaks. This isn't a malfunction. It's a mind that was calibrated for survival. Chaos is familiar territory. You know exactly how to operate there. It's calm that feels foreign because in your experience, calm was just the pause before the storm. The hard part isn't handling the hard times. It's learning to trust the good ones. Sign 6. You understand people faster than they understand themselves. You've had conversations where you knew what someone was really feeling before they did. You could name the fear underneath their anger, the wound beneath their defensiveness, the need hiding behind their words. People come to you and feel understood in a way they can't explain. This is because you spent years studying human behavior as a matter of necessity. You learned to decode people because decoding them kept you safe. You watch the patterns, track the cycles, map the way emotions move through a person. Now you read others with a depth that feels almost uncomfortable. You see through performances. You sense agendas. And sometimes you carry the weight of understanding people so completely that you forget to ask who's understanding you. Sign 7. You turned your pain into a way of helping others. This is the sign that ties everything together. Somewhere along the way, you took everything that hurt you and transformed it into the ability to help. You're the one people call when their world is falling apart. You're the one who knows what to say because you've been in the dark place yourself. You feel a pull toward people who are struggling because you recognize something in them. This is what psychologists call post-traumatic growth. It's not about being grateful for the pain. The pain was real and it mattered. It's about the meaning you built from it. You took the worst parts of your experience and turned them into wisdom, empathy, and a depth of understanding that can't be taught. You became someone who makes other people feel less alone. Now here's what nobody tells you about traumatic intelligence. It comes with a cost. The same wiring that makes you perceptive also makes you exhausted. The brain that scans every room never fully rests. The mind that thinks 3 steps ahead struggles to live in the present moment. The heart that understands everyone sometimes forgets it needs understanding too. You might have spent years thinking these traits were proof that you were broken, that you were too anxious, too aware, too sensitive for this world. But what if they were never weaknesses at all? What if they were intelligence wearing the disguise of damage? The truth is, you developed these abilities for a reason. They protected you when you needed protecting. They got you here. The question now isn't whether they're useful, they are. The question is whether you can learn to use them on purpose instead of being run by them automatically. Whether you can keep the perception without the constant alarm. Keep the depth without the exhaustion. Keep the empathy while finally including yourself in it. Because traumatic intelligence isn't a sentence, it's a starting point. It means your mind learned to do extraordinary things under impossible conditions. And if it could do that in survival mode, imagine what it can do when you're finally safe. The same brain that learned to read danger can learn to recognize peace. The same heart that learned to hold everyone's pain can learn to hold its own gently. You are not too much. You were shaped by more than most people will ever face, and you turned it into something rare. So if you recognized yourself in these 7 signs, understand this. What you've been carrying isn't brokenness. It's a kind of brilliance the world doesn't have a name for yet. If this reached something in you, subscribe. We go deep into the psychology of who you actually are. Leave a comment and tell us which sign hit hardest. We read every one.